Have you ever wondered if someone in your life is a narcissist? Or perhaps you have pondered whether you might be one. Welcome to the intriguing world of narcissism, a realm where the self is the sun around which everything else revolves. Narcissism, at its core, is a personality trait characterized by an inflated sense of self-importance, a deep need for excessive attention and admiration, and a lack of empathy for others. Yet it's not as simple as it seems. Narcissism lies on a spectrum, ranging from healthy self-confidence to a pathological condition known as narcissistic personality disorder. It's not about being selfish or vain. It's a complex interplay of emotions, behaviors, and patterns that shape one's perception of self and others. Imagine a mirror. A narcissist's mirror, however, is a bit different. It's like a funhouse mirror that distorts reality to fit their narrative, where they are the protagonist, the hero, the victim, and the star. And that's where the trouble begins. Relationships with narcissists can be challenging, as they often struggle to recognize the needs and feelings of those around them. But why should you care about narcissism? Well, because it influences every interaction we have. It affects how we relate to others, how we perceive ourselves, and how we navigate the world around us. Whether it's in our personal relationships, at work, or even on a societal level, understanding narcissism can provide a lens through which we can better understand human behavior. Moreover, recognizing narcissistic traits can be the first step towards self-improvement or even healing from a toxic relationship. It's not about labeling or blaming, but rather about understanding and empathizing. So, are you intrigued yet? Ready to dive deeper into this fascinating world? Well, we're just getting started. We'll explore the grandiosity of narcissists, their need for admiration, their lack of empathy, their sense of entitlement, and their relationship with envy. So buckle up as we delve into the world of narcissism, understanding its traits and signs. One of the most glaring traits of a narcissist is grandiosity. This trait is like a neon sign, flashing brightly and impossible to miss. But what exactly does grandiosity mean in the context of narcissism? To put it simply, it's an overblown sense of superiority or specialness. Narcissists firmly believe that they are unique, extraordinary, and above ordinary people. They often view themselves as a cut above the rest, like a rare gem in a sea of pebbles. This belief is not just a quiet confidence. Instead, it's a loud, self-proclaimed declaration that they are better, smarter, more talented, and more deserving than everyone else. Let's delve deeper. Narcissists don't just believe they are superior. They feel compelled to let everyone around them know it. They often exaggerate their achievements, talents, and skills, painting themselves as larger-than-life characters. They might claim to have the best job, the most beautiful spouse, the smartest children, or the most exciting life. They leave no stone unturned in showcasing their imagined brilliance. But why do they do this? At the core of grandiosity is a paradox. Beneath the towering facade of superiority often lies a fragile self-esteem. This grandiose display serves as a protective covering, hiding deep-seated insecurities. The narcissist's self-worth is precariously balanced on the shaky ground of external validation. They need others to believe their tall tales of grandeur to support their fragile sense of self. However, the grandiosity of narcissists can have serious consequences. Their exaggerated sense of self-importance can lead to unrealistic expectations, strained relationships, and emotional harm to those around them. They may belittle others to maintain their elevated self-image, creating a toxic environment. In conclusion, grandiosity in narcissists is a complex trait. It's a loud proclamation of superiority that masks deep-seated insecurities. It's an exaggeration of achievements to maintain a fragile sense of self-worth. Grandiosity, then, is the narcissist's exaggerated sense of self-importance, often veiling deep-seated insecurities. A constant desire for admiration is another striking trait of narcissists. So, let's dive deeper into this fascinating characteristic. Imagine a person who thrives on being the center of attention, one who constantly seeks validation and admiration. This isn't just about enjoying a bit of limelight now and then, it's about needing that admiration like a plant needs sunshine. This, dear listener, is a typical narcissist. Narcissists crave admiration not just because it feels good, but because it feeds their inflated self-perception. They have an excessively favorable view of themselves, often bordering on grandiosity. They believe they are superior, unique, and can only be understood by, or should associate with, other special or high-status people or institutions. To maintain this self-image, they need a constant supply of praise and admiration, and they can go to great lengths to secure it. They may show off, brag, or exaggerate their achievements and talents. They may even belittle others to make themselves appear superior. But what happens when this admiration is not forthcoming? How do narcissists react when they don't receive the validation they crave? Well, they don't take it well, to put it mildly. When their need for admiration isn't met, narcissists may react with anger, frustration, or even aggression. They may lash out, becoming critical or dismissive of others. They may resort to manipulative tactics to draw attention back to themselves or to elicit the admiration they crave. This need for constant admiration can cause significant problems in a narcissist's relationships. It can lead to conflict, dissatisfaction, and ultimately the breakdown of these relationships. Understanding this need for admiration and the lengths a narcissist will go to secure it can offer a valuable insight into their behavior. It can help us understand why they act the way they do and how we can better respond to their behavior. In the absence of constant praise, a narcissist may resort to manipulative tactics to maintain their inflated self-image. So, keep an eye out for these behaviors. They may just be a sign of a narcissist in your midst. Did you know that a lack of empathy is a hallmark trait of narcissism? Empathy, the ability to understand and share the feelings of others, is often missing from the emotional toolbox of a narcissist. This absence isn't because they can't comprehend the concept of empathy. Instead, they struggle to extend it to others due to their self-focused perspective. Picture this: you're excitedly sharing your latest achievement with a friend, but instead of joining in your joy, they swiftly shift the conversation to their own feats, seemingly uninterested in your success. This is a classic example of the narcissist's lack of empathy. Their world revolves around their own experiences, emotions, and achievements, leaving little room to genuinely share in the joys, pains, or interests of others. This self-centeredness often extends into their relationships, creating an emotional imbalance. Narcissists tend to view others as extensions of themselves, rather than unique individuals with their own feelings and needs. As a result, they may disregard or minimize the feelings of others, particularly when those feelings don't align with their own. They're adept at taking, but struggle with giving, especially when it comes to emotional support. This lack of empathy can lead to a cycle of emotional neglect. The narcissist's inability to validate the feelings and experiences of others can leave their loved ones feeling unheard and unappreciated. Furthermore, narcissists often expect others to empathize with their experiences without reciprocating the same level of understanding and validation. Unfortunately, this emotional one-sidedness can have detrimental effects on their relationships. Those close to a narcissist may feel emotionally drained, undervalued, and in some cases, manipulated. Over time, this can lead to feelings of isolation, low self-esteem, and emotional distress. It's important to remember, though, that narcissism is a complex personality trait, and not everyone who lacks empathy is a narcissist. But understanding this trait can help us navigate our relationships more effectively, setting healthy boundaries where needed. The narcissist's lack of empathy often leaves those around them feeling unheard and unimportant. Remember, everyone deserves to be seen, heard, and valued in their relationships. Another key trait of narcissists is their strong sense of entitlement. This isn't your everyday sense of entitlement, where someone feels they deserve a reward for hard work. No, this is an inflated, unrealistic expectation that the world should bend to their will simply because they exist. Narcissists believe they are inherently superior to others. This belief isn't based on achievements or personal growth, but rather it is a deeply ingrained facet of their personality. They feel they deserve special treatment and privileges that others do not. This might manifest in expecting others to always put their needs first, or believing they are above the rules and norms that govern everyone else. This sense of entitlement is not just confined to their personal lives. It extends to their professional lives as well. In the workplace, narcissists may demand undue respect and recognition, irrespective of their actual contributions. They may feel entitled to promotions and raises, even if their performance doesn't warrant it. Their unreasonable expectations don't end with themselves. They also expect others to meet these high standards. They demand constant admiration and validation from those around them. When these expectations aren't met, they may react with anger or even aggression. Moreover, narcissists often lack the capability to recognize or acknowledge the needs and feelings of others. They see others as extensions of themselves, existing primarily to serve their needs. This disregard for others often leads to strained relationships, as their inflated sense of entitlement leaves little room for mutual respect or understanding. This trait also makes it difficult for narcissists to accept criticism or feedback. They perceive any form of criticism as a personal attack, further fueling their sense of entitlement. They feel they are above reproach, which hinders their ability to grow and learn from their mistakes. At the end of the day, it's important to remember that narcissism is a complex personality disorder. Understanding these traits can help us navigate our interactions with those who exhibit them. This sense of entitlement often leads to conflicts and strained relationships, but by recognizing it, we can better protect ourselves and foster healthier relationships. Last but not least, envy is a common trait amongst narcissists. This envy often stems from the narcissist's deep-rooted sense of inadequacy. Despite their outward display of superiority and confidence, narcissists are often plagued by feelings of insecurity and self-doubt. They may perceive others as being more successful, more attractive, or more accomplished, which triggers feelings of envy. This envy is not just a fleeting emotion for narcissists. It is a persistent and pervasive force that can lead to resentment and hostility. Narcissists often harbor a belief that others are envious of them. This is part of their grandiose self-perception. They convince themselves that others are jealous of their accomplishments, their looks, or their life in general. This belief serves two purposes. First, it reinforces their inflated self-image. Second, it provides a convenient scapegoat for any criticism or negative feedback they may receive. If someone criticizes a narcissist, they can dismiss it as jealousy rather than considering the validity of the critique. This envy and perceived envy can lead to destructive behaviors. Narcissists may attempt to belittle those they are envious of in an attempt to make themselves feel superior. They might gossip, spread rumors, or even sabotage others in a misguided attempt to elevate their own status. This destructive behavior often strains relationships. Friends, family members, and colleagues may grow weary of the narcissist's constant need for superiority and their tendency to tear others down. Over time, this can lead to isolation for the narcissist, as those around them distance themselves to avoid the negativity. Envy in narcissists isn't just an emotion, it's a way of life. It colors their perceptions, drives their actions, and ultimately can be their downfall. Recognizing and understanding this trait is crucial in dealing with narcissists effectively and in preventing oneself from becoming a target of their envy-driven behaviors. Envy in narcissists can lead to destructive behaviors and further strain relationships. So, what have we learned about narcissistic traits? We've embarked on a journey through the labyrinth of narcissism, unraveling the threads of grandiosity, need for admiration, lack of empathy, sense of entitlement, and envy. These traits, intertwined, form the complex tapestry of narcissistic behavior. Firstly, we enter the grandiosity of narcissists. This trait is often displayed as an inflated sense of self-importance. Narcissists believe they are superior, unique, and only understood by, or should associate with, other, special, or high-status individuals. They often exaggerate their achievements and talents, expecting to be recognized as superior without commensurate achievements. It's like being on an endless roller coaster ride with their exaggerated reality. Secondly, we explored the narcissist's insatiable need for admiration. Narcissists have an overwhelming desire for excessive admiration and attention. They often require constant praise and recognition, thriving on being the center of attention. However, beneath this seemingly confident exterior, they are incredibly vulnerable to the slightest criticism. Then came the chilling trait of lack of others. This is the inability to identify with or recognize the experiences and feelings of others. Narcissists are often dismissive, contemptuous, or oblivious to the feelings of others. They often view people in terms of their utility rather than as individuals with their own needs and desires. It's like trying to get water from a stone. It's simply not there. Next, we examine the narcissist's sense of entitlement. Often have unreasonable expectations of favorable treatment. They expect others to automatically comply with their expectations. It's like they're the sun, and we're all just planets revolving around them, expected to cater to their every whim. Finally, we address the trait of envy in narcissists. They often harbor envy towards others and believe others are envious of them. It's a bitter cocktail of resentment and desire, almost as though they're in a constant state of comparison, always trying to come out on top. To sum it up, dealing with narcissists can be a challenging task. Their grandiosity, incessant need for admiration, lack of empathy, sense of entitlement, and envy can create a toxic environment. However, by understanding these traits, we can better comprehend the motivations behind their behavior. Remember, it's crucial to maintain healthy boundaries and not let their behavior affect your self-esteem or well-being. It's like being an expert navigator, charting a course through choppy waters. Although the journey can be tough, knowing what to expect can make the voyage less daunting. Understanding these traits can help us navigate relationships with narcissists more effectively. Remember, knowledge is power. Don't forget to subscribe for more interesting facts and tips on how to deal with specific relationships.